Welcome, everyone. We'll start with Sean Cunningham.
Hey, what's up, Luke? How are you?
Good.
I got to say, man, you made a pretty good Ted Lasso.
Oh, did some of those pictures got out?
They did.
I was disappointed. A lot of our players didn't even know who Ted Lasso was. It's a good show.
That's a hell of a disappointment. Yes. When you look at tonight, I'm just wondering if there's much you can take from that first preseason matchup, or do you kind of throw that all out the window as you come into tonight?
Well, as far as playing them, some of the play sets, the play calls, being familiar with that, but that's about it. What we take away from it is, again, just building on what we're building and continuing to try to play a certain way, which we've done a nice job of, but we got to do it more consistently throughout the 48 minutes.
Next to James Ham.
Hey, Luke, you've had a couple of days here to really work on that fourth quarter execution. Do you feel like you've had some breakthroughs there where you understand maybe some of the pitfalls that you're going through?
Well, we've talked about it. We've addressed it as a group. Even more so the entire second half. We're slowing down too much. So we're aware of it. We've worked on it, but we have to get out there during the games and do a better job of executing what we're trying to accomplish.
Is it one of those things where you have to continuously yell and scream for them to push the tempo, or is it more of the players need to start taking ownership of that issue?
It's always both. And when we get this fixed, there'll be something else that needs fixing. And, what we build here and the culture that we have is all about players taking ownerships and us as coaches pushing them in the direction as well. But we're all in it together.
Next, we have a question in the room. Go ahead, Rasan.
Yeah, I was just curious what the difference has been for you so far. And it's early this season versus last year. Have you noticed already the more time that this season is going to allow for you guys to work and practice and things like that?
Yeah, it's been great. It's been great for our team to have a real training camp, to have time before the training camp that the guys could get together and play. The schedule, even being able to have shoot-arounds again and not wake up at 7 to get tested if we wanted to do it before, allows just more time for our team to really work on certain things. So it's nice to have the NBA schedule back to what we're used to.
Coach, apologize for being late. I want to ask about Rashawn. Has he developed as you thought he would when he first got here with you?
Yeah, he's been great. We signed him as really like a third center, and he quickly, with his work ethic, his passion, won over the coaching staff and his teammates. And he started, I think, game 6 of that same season, and he's never looked back. So he continues to work hard. He's a big part of what we're trying to do, and we're lucky to have him.
When you look at just, you guys obviously played in the preseason. What do you see in Phoenix right now that they be concerned going to a game like that?
Well, they're a really good team. This is a team that was in the NBA Finals last year, and I know their record isn't. It's 3 games in. It's not a huge sample size, but this is one of the best teams in the league, and they got a point guard that gets everyone in the right spots, and they got one of the elite scorers in our game that constantly puts pressure on you, and a big man that protects the paint and is physical, and then they have great role players alongside of that. So they're a well put together team, and they got a great coach that has them executing everything. So we got our work cut out for us.
Chris was saying how Davion was with him a little bit during the finals. Davion said when he got drafted that Chris was somebody he looked at. What are you seeing Davion early that maybe show signs that he could be that kind of player?
His work ethic. Anyone that has a great work ethic, I believe, has a great chance of succeeding. And not many better point guards to pick their brains than Chris Paul, and give Chris a lot of love for sharing some of that wisdom with Davion. But Davion studies film all day long on who he's guarding, other teams, and he works. When you have that type of drive and that type of work ethic, normally good things work out for you.
Anyone else in the room? All right, go ahead, Alex.
All right, we'll continue with Tony.
Hey, Coach Walton. Back to the game. Mikal Bridges. Of course, we hear about Chris, Andre, and and Booker. But this guy, he played pretty well in the playoffs last year. He started off pretty good this year. Probably don't get the notoriety that he probably should, probably don't care. Just on a contract extension. What do you have to say about this type of player and what he has done for the Phoenix Suns going into this game?
Yeah, he's a huge part of the success they have. And I think that it shows, a lot of times only the top couple players get the love from outside, but obviously Phoenix as an organization respects and values what he's done because of what they just paid him. And, my guess is he starts on De'Aaron Fox tonight. He is a versatile defender with great hands. He's one of the best cutters in the league, and he knocks down threes. It's everything you want out of a wing player.
Next to Katie.
Hey, Luke, I wanted to ask you about kind of running De'Aaron and Tyrese side by side in that starting lineup. I noticed that De'Aaron's off the ball a little bit more this year to start. I'm assuming that's intentional. I was wondering from De'Aaron's kind of slow start offensively, if that's something that you feel you need to do is get it back in his hands a little bit more early, or how do you address that?
Yeah, we do. We want both of them playmaking for us. De'Aaron's always going to end up with the ball in his hands a lot. He's going to have a lot of opportunities. And Ty is a very good playmaker, and he's great in the pick and roll game. So it's just, continuing to find that balance and continuing to have those two really grow playing together as far as when Tyrese should be running stuff, when De'Aaron is, depending on who's guarding each person. But we want both of them in attack mode all game long.
Okay, last question for Coach Jason Anderson.
Luke, that brings to mind a question I've been meaning to ask you about with De'Aaron is, given the added size and strength, I know he's working on getting that shot in rhythm. Is it possible someday that he could play any substantial number of his minutes at the 2 rather than at the 1? Could you play him with a true point guard?
Yeah, well, I think that in today's NBA, especially how we want to play and how we're built, that's the 1 and the 2 doesn't really matter what you want to call it. There's going to be times he's on the floor and Tyrese is running the show. There's times that Davion's running and he'll be off ball. And that's where we're trying to keep getting better at that, because now as long as we're playing the right way and making quick decisions, even if he is off ball, now you're closing out to probably the fastest player in the league from the weak side. And that's just something we have to continue to drill and continue to get better at.